Hello everyone. Hey, welcome to Practice with Paige. I'm Paige, and this week we are finishing our chakra chats. We are moving into the seventh and final chakra, which is Sahasrara, or the crown chakra. I just want to take a moment to really thank you guys, and I really do appreciate you for giving me this time and this space over the last 7 weeks to be able to just explore and go into this topic. I really enjoyed learning about it with you. And yeah, so for today's video, we will hop into just a few of the basics of the crown chakra. We'll touch over the 3 pillars that make this chakra what it is. You'll learn how to evaluate your own, and we will end with a little guided meditation here. So if you want, you can go ahead and come on into a seated position. And for the colors, it is going to be violet and white. Location, if you want to take your hands and put it right up here on the top of the head, this is going to be the location of your crown chakra, Sahasrara. So let's take one breath here together, just connecting with that energy. In through the nose, out through the nose or mouth. So the wound or weak spot of this chakra is going to be attachment, and we'll talk about that a little bit more as we move throughout these pillars. You'll see how that comes into play. So we'll hop right into it. Pillar number 1, or the first component of this chakra, is going to be your belief system. So your beliefs are created due to 3 different things in your life, 3 different basic categories that they've been separated up into. The first one is indoctrination. So this is going to be like your, and forgive me if I'm saying this wrong, indoctrination, but this is going to be like your family, who you're exposed to when you're a young, small child. This is going to be your very first impressions, right? And then the second one is going to be socialization. We create these thoughts and ideas through what society tells us. So this can be through our school, our friends, our community, the media, the environment. You know, this is what everyone else, this is the feedback that we're getting from all of this, the socialization part of it. And then the third and last way that we create our beliefs is based on our own self-creation, our own thoughts, based on our personal experiences. So over time, right, we have these experiences, what was told to us when we were first born, what our friends and classmates, think, what's cool at the time, the environment, the media, and then kind of our own experiences, personalized, what has happened to us, what was our personal or emotional reaction to that experience. And it starts to create this beliefs, our own belief system, right? And we use that to figure out how to live within this world. So to help with this one, if you're like, I'm feeling really off, feeling really disconnected, I'm feeling really, not myself, some things you could do are to become aware of what your thoughts and beliefs are. A lot of things we have just been heard or told ever since we were little, so some things we don't even question. Ricky and I were talking about this the other day. We were driving in the car at night, and one of the kids had turned on the light, and we were like, oh, don't turn it on. It's illegal to drive the light on at night. Now, we looked it up. That is not true, but that's something him and I were both told when we were kids. So these ideas that are presented to you that shape your belief system and change how you act in your environment. So ways that we can grow from this is to become aware of what your beliefs are. Do they match where you're going in life right now? Things change all the time. Our lives can change drastically in a year, 5 years, 10 years. So evaluate your belief system. See if your thoughts on certain things are still consistent with what you know now that you're an adult, right? Or as you're getting older and having more experiences. And pillar number 2. So back up. These 3 pillars are really going to play off of each other as well. So we go into this belief system, realizing what our own beliefs are, letting go of what no longer serves us, and creating this space, this awareness for new knowledge, new information, or new beliefs. I heard it, if you think of it like a computer system, right? So your body is the hardware and your experiences are the software. And I might be wrong on that one. And then we're getting this information, this internet being fed into us. And sometimes we need to update our files. Sometimes, the storage is too full, it's out of date, there's new information. So we got to go through, see what we have, get rid of what's no longer working, make room for all of the new stuff that we want to take in. And then going on to pillar number 2 is going to be meditation. So once we've became aware of our belief system, got rid of what no longer serves us or matches what we're going in our lives, we come to this point of meditation. So meditation is one of the easiest, hardest things you might ever have to do in your life, because it's sitting with yourself in complete quiet and silence. And that can be uncomfortable, guys, you want to move, you want to fidget, you want to think, you want to be doing stuff going, but it's hard. It's hard to sit there with yourself quietly. It's awkward. But if you think about it, meditation is like a cleansing shower. So the way the lady I described, her name's Allie, she described this was like, if you think of meditation, not like a chore that you have to do every single day, but more as a moment of quiet or just a moment of privacy for yourself. Kind of change your thought and your mindset on that and give yourself that one moment. It can be a minute, 5 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever that time may be for you. Giving yourself that time to just sit down and meditate, that moment of pause and clarity, just a break for yourself, a moment of privacy. So in this time, you can go over the most personal thoughts that maybe you've kept shoved down, or maybe you've just been so busy going, you haven't had a time to answer maybe a question that you've been seeking. You can just enjoy the serenity of the absolute silence and stillness. The options in your meditation are endless, and it's just whatever comes to you. So people get so worried and fixated on like, am I doing this right? But it's your meditation. So any way you want to use that brief moment of privacy, you can use it how you want, right? And then, so when we're going into meditation, think of it like it is a cleansing shower, washing away all of the mental indigestion of the day. When we hit on some of the other chakras, the lower chakras, we talked about how we spend a lot of time living in these upper 3 chakras, right? We are thinking, seeing, speaking, talking, analyzing, we're just living up here in our day-to-day in these upper 3 chakras. So we can feel very overstimulated, They described it like indigestion. When you eat too much and you're just too full, it's uncomfortable, right? So we're taking in all of this information, all of this stimulation all of the time. And so when we meditate, it's like a cleansing rain for the indigestion to just wash it away, give you that moment of peace, that moment of clarity. And then this moves on into the 3rd and final pillar, which is unification and wholeness. So I know personally, I've had a lot of times where I felt disconnected with myself, disconnected with my life, just not really, just off in some way. Maybe you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm sure most of you do. But when we work on reaching that unification or that wholeness, we want to come to this point of just complete health, happiness, bliss, clarity. And we do that by coming to these brief moments where everything is as it should. That's the goal, right? And one way that we can do this is to dedicate your practice to a higher power. Now, this gets into kind of a touchy subject, but that can be whatever that means to you. That can be God or your gods, or the moon cycles, the divine, the universe, the galaxy, Mother Nature, like whatever you feel is bigger than yourself, whatever higher power you feel is bigger than you, because I promise you, you're not the highest power in the world, or universe or whatever, right? We're trying to connect and reunite with that higher power. We're like a little tiny, blip of our lives, and the goal is to be reunited. So dedicate a practice to whatever your belief system is, whatever that higher power is. Just take one quick practice or one super long practice, whatever you're feeling that day. Maybe one a week, one a year, maybe just one ever, and just be like, really, this is dedicated towards whatever higher power I am deciding or reaching to connect with. So we go through these 3 pillars, and we've talked about, as we're moving up the chakras, the energies are becoming more and more subtle, right? So down here where we're grounding down, we're feeling, we're doing, we're, wanting, we're speaking, we're seeing, and then now we're coming into this just quiet state of something that can only be experienced. So when we talk about the belief system, right? So back to pillar number 1. This lives in your consciousness and your subconsciousness. So when you think of, sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought here. Whenever you think of that, who is the observer? You're stepping into that role of the observer, but then you think, who is the observer? Who is that I am referring to as yourself? I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, okay? Let's come into a little guided meditation here. So we've hit our 3 pillars. Let's touch back over those real quick. So we got pillar number 1, your belief system. Number 2, meditation. So number 1, we're working on identifying, recognizing what our belief system is, getting rid of the old, making room for the new. Meditation, coming into that moment of silence, quiet, clarity, where we can cleanse, become undigested, cleansed. We want to become clear and not congested. That's what I was looking for. Not congested. Congested. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm killing it today, right? Okay. And then the very last one, working on reaching that wholeness, that unification, that moment of just pure bliss and happiness, as everything is as it should be. All right, a lot of information in these 7 chakras. So hopefully you're down here in a seated position with me. Try to get in a comfortable seated position to where you are able to not move, regardless of how difficult or annoying it might feel to sit still. Try to be in a position where it's not you don't want it to physically hurt to sit still, okay? So nice, comfy, we're gonna be here for a little bit. We're gonna try to come to complete stillness, sitting up nice and tall. Ground down through your root chakra. So we've talked about 6 other chakras up until now. I want you to take a moment here, just walk through them. Ground down through that root chakra. Think about your pillars, your foundation, your support, physical health, boundaries. Moving up into that sacral chakra, we're looking for alignment. Grounding down through the root chakra, aligning through that sacral chakra. Moving on up to that solar plexus where we do all of our doing. Our fire center. Power center. Keeping that alignment, we're moving all the way up to the heart, lifting the heart, dropping the shoulders, opening the chest, making space. Moving on up to the throat chakra, Keeping a nice open space for the throat chakra, nice and clear. Moving on up to the third eye chakra. Bringing your attention to that space in between your eyes. And finally, bringing your attention to the crown chakra. Shifting your awareness now to your breath. Noticing if that changes its pattern at all. Notice what it feels like to breathe. Maybe ask yourself, by what means am I able to feel this? Who is doing the feeling? Moving on up now to that conscious space inside of our mind, where you can hear yourself think without saying any words aloud. Who's doing the hearing? Who is it that's doing the speaking inside of your mind without any words? Now shift that focus to who is noticing. So we're stepping into the role of the observer, no longer feeling the sensations in our body, but becoming aware that we are feeling sensations. Resisting any urge to move. When you think of consciousness and you being present in this moment right now, being aware of yourself sitting there on the floor or wherever you may be. You can feel your body on the ground, feel the space around you. Hearing yourself inside of yourself. Start to let that mental chatter start to become quieter and quieter, more like a murmur. Imagine that the consciousness of this moment is everywhere, all around you. And you're only seeing a very small part of it through your eyes, through your body, through your experiences. But the consciousness is always there. Imagine the consciousness observing you in your meditative state. You're reaching for it, observing it, but it also observing you. Start to bring your awareness back to your body here. Maybe noticing the temperature in the room, any lights you can see, even with your eyes closed. any sensations you're feeling. And then start to blink open your eyes. Perfect. That was it. You did it. That was meditation. So there is this beauty of yoga practice and meditation that is extremely personal, personalized, very individualized, and it's something that cannot be described but only experienced. So I hope I was able to give you a small taste of that, and I hope you continue to use this practice in and off the mat, and then part of all of your daily lives. Thank you so much for joining me today and for letting me do these 7 weeks of Chakra Chats. I appreciate every single one of you, and the spirit in me really honors the spirit in you. Namaste.